I'd like to introduce you today to the most successful entrepreneur that I've ever met. You don't know her name, and she's not wealthy, but her story changed my life. This is Gannett. In the early 1980s, when her country's brutal dictator turned the military on his own people, her brother and sister were killed, and she was tragically separated from her 2-year-old daughter. After 2 agonizing years as a refugee, she was granted a visa to come to the US, where she determined to earn enough money to be reunited. Once in the United States, Gannett found a job as a waitress, but even working extra shifts, she was barely making enough to survive, let alone to afford an expensive plane ticket. So this creative young woman turned to a skill that she had learned back home and began designing and sewing dresses, beautiful dresses and gowns late at night, and selling them to friends and neighbors. And she was good. She was really good. Word got out, and before long, she was beginning to save up enough for her dream. Now, Gannett didn't think of herself in this way, but she had started a business. It took years of long hours and late nights, but the day when her daughter finally returned to her arms in the airport was the happiest day of her life. And that little business that most of us wouldn't have thought amounted to much had saved a family. This story changed my life because when I heard it, it made me think there must be others out there who dream of a better life for their family and who are working so hard for it, but whose jobs pay so little as to make that dream seem impossible. Indeed, there are millions of them. For the bottom 90% of households in America, the average income is less than $32,000 a year. In a place like New Jersey, a family of 3 needs $48,000 a year just to survive, just to cover basic living expenses like food and rent. This is called the problem of working poverty, working a full-time job and not making enough to survive. What do you do? What would you do? Like Gannett, many people turn to a talent or a skill as a way to earn extra money. Unfortunately, their success is often limited by their access to resources and their level of business skills. If we can help them to succeed, however, not only can these businesses transform the lives of the owners, but they can grow and create jobs and opportunity for others. The opportunity is huge. In fact, there are enough small-scale entrepreneurs in the United States today that if we could help just 1 in 3 of them to hire another person this year, we could bring America all the way to full employment. And so an idea was born. And in 2004, my wife and I co-founded Rising Tide Capital, a nonprofit organization that has since received national recognition for its work in inner-city neighborhoods, working with talented men and women to start and grow successful businesses. Our innovative model eliminates barriers to success by connecting entrepreneurs to the 3 things that they need most: knowledge capital, social capital, and financial capital. We begin with an intensive training program focused on business management skills, and then we pair the graduates with top-notch consultants, mentors, and pro bono legal, accounting, and design services. As these businesses get up and off the ground, we connect them to resources like free office space and student interns. And when they're ready, with loans from our network of microfinance partners so that they can expand and hire. Most importantly, we know it works. Today, right now, we have 921 businesses open in the Rising Tide network. We have another 793 in the pipeline. And we know that, on average, we see a new Rising Tide business open up every 3 days. We have entrepreneurs like Beatrice, who opened a brand design company and now has offices in New Jersey, Chicago, and Brazil. Gustavo runs a company providing medical translation services, and his business has grown to earn over $1.7 million in revenue. Angelo just raised $1.5 million in private equity to expand his business that uses smart glass technology to do high-end, complicated industrial machinery repair. Finally, we have entrepreneurs like Angela, who, in addition to running a business providing administrative services for the elderly, was just elected to the New Jersey State Legislature, representing our home district in Jersey City. Stories like these show that if we can invest in the human potential of entrepreneurs in even the lowest income neighborhoods, we can create thriving businesses that generate jobs and opportunity for others. Now, over the years, Rising Tide Capital has grown, and we now work with over 900 entrepreneurs per year across 5 cities. When you add up the revenue, jobs, and taxes from these businesses, we know that for every $1 our donors invest in our programs, we produce $3.80 in local economic impact. As a result of these kinds of outcomes, we've received some great national publicity over the years. In 2009, we were recognized as CNN Heroes and recognized by the President for innovation in the nonprofit field. In 2012, Forbes tapped our CEO as one of the top 100 women changing the world. Recently, we were invited to ring the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange and accepted into a 5-year fellowship at the World Economic Forum in Davos. So what's next? At Rising Tide Capital, we believe that one of the most powerful tools you can use to fight poverty around the world is the creative entrepreneurial spirit that already exists in every community. But this vision and this opportunity is way too large for just one organization. So rather than expanding on our own city by city, our goal is to partner with churches, with nonprofits, and others to replicate our model in cities around the US and around the world. By sharing not just our curriculum, but the entire program model, including our back-end infrastructure and outcome tracking system, our goal is to save these organizations the years of time we had to spend building everything from scratch. Now, we spent the past couple of years actually piloting out this strategy in the south side of Chicago. We have a partner called Sunshine Enterprises. They've already grown to raise over $2 million. They've expanded into 3 locations and serve over 250 entrepreneurs a year. In the coming year, with the help of major funding partners, we are going to be launching a new division of Rising Tide Capital specifically dedicated to this long-term strategy and begin expanding into cities around the country. Eventually, we envision a network of rising tide cities around the world where entrepreneurship is used as a catalyst for social and economic opportunity. Now, this is a big vision, and it is overwhelming and daunting at times. But I shared with you Ganette's story in the beginning because it actually has a much deeper meaning for me. That young girl that Ganette fought so hard to be reunited with is the woman that I met and fell in love with in college. Inspired by her mom's story, we started Rising Tide Capital together. A few years ago, we got married, and now we have 2 beautiful kids. And when we look into their eyes in the morning as we're getting them ready to go to school, we know firsthand the transformative impact that even the humblest of businesses can have, an impact that spans generations. We get up every day trying to make this story a reality for other families. So if you share this vision, if you believe in the transformative power of entrepreneurship, we invite you. Please join us. Thank you.